Welcome back everybody to race 8 of Formula Sundays, and the lights are on and off immediately as we go away for the Canadian Grand Prix. We have Kurtz in the lead there in front of the two McLarens, slight contact between Mealy and Vroom, and the two Williams down the inside of the two Astons, and there's a spin by Aris, hits Yap on the side. I think that has caused floor damage for the second Aston, and well, Fabian and Doomato come together as well as the Williams spins out and has to be caught back to P9. Apart from that, we still have battling for P3 between Seagull and Mealy here, but Seagull stays ahead for now, and behind them Vroom is lurking. But we will head back to the race start, seeing the replay on board of Doomato here. The Red Bull completely messing up the start. I think it was a jump start as well, so may have stopped to make up for it. But yeah, here we see the Williams down the inside, the Aston right on the left here, side by side into turn 3. And there's the slight contact that sends Doomato very wide, and yeah, causes him to lose 2 positions on this occasion. Fabian here. The battle from the other perspective. It's down the outside, of course, gets a better exit here. Slingshots around at the outside here and takes it very tight on the second turn. Nothing that they could have done differently here. And here we see Aris spinning out and hitting the other Aston Martin as well. Yapsinho making up a position afterwards here. And well, we will jump on board with Yapsinho as well here. Who is seeing everything of this from yeah, the spectator's POV. The two cars coming together there, be right in front, and then he goes through into P8. We jump into lap number 2 as we follow the drivers through sector 1 here. Everyone is lined up nice and well behind each other. The top 3 guys still close, but further down we see a Williams, Doomato there, landing in the wall. The first death due to oversteer, as we see in the replay here. Coming out of the first chicane, very close to the wall already, and then just, yeah, out of thin air, the car slides out into the wall, and there's the first DNF of this race. On board with Doomato here once more, seeing the steering. It's not even moving at all, the car just slides out. And there's the Williams race gone. After the resulting VSC, we have the restart here. VSC is ending right now as we go through the final chicane. And of course, the top 3 are still in fierce battle. Kurtz behind Brandon back here, but no one can make up his position just yet as they go into sector 1. As they're going through turn 1 and 2 into sector 1, but no positional changes just yet. We are in lap 4 and the battle for the top position is still going on. Kurtz diving into the pits early here, may have picked up damage somewhere, and there's yellow flag in sector 2. And ultimately resulting of that, a safety car coming out. As we see on the scoreboard already, Aris has hit the wall. Not a good day for the Williams. The 2 first DNFs, and Aris, from his earlier spin with the front wing damage, now on the hard compound, has lost all grip here, oversteering into the wall as well as his teammate. And yeah, that's the second DNF, and that now results in a real safety car. We are in lap 7, and not for the restart, in fact. Instead, we have this little situation here. Kurtz, who has been complaining about heavy leg spikes here, will soon hit the wall, pulling a little bit of a Grosjean and DNFing behind the safety car here. We'll go on board with them and see what exactly happened, and yeah, that's that.
I think Ericsson hit us.
We cut towards the end of this lap though. Lap 7 still, and safety car is ending. We are going back to racing speed in a minute. The two McLarens still in front here and getting a very good restart, but I think pretty much no one slapped through the restart, and yeah, no positional changes just yet as they go through the first few turns, and everyone stays nice and in order. We are on board with Seagull here, following behind Brandenbeck, and Brandenbeck with the spin. Yet another crash, but I think no DNF. Brandenbeck may have just lost major parts of his front wing, but is still in contention for this race. And as we jump a little bit deeper into lap 8, we see an overtake by Ypsinio on Daddy, and I think Rito's gonna slip past as well, slipstreaming behind the Aston Martin here, and Daddy goes down into P7. The battle as a whole though is not over just yet. I mentioned before, Ypsinio has the damaged car from that incident in the start, and thus suffers severe lack of downforce in some corners, and Rito just gets a way better exit out of the chicane and blasts through. Back to the top drivers there in lap 10. Mealy, Seagull and Vroom, a new contender for the top ranks, joining for this battle for P1, and through the hairpin we will see both Mealy and Vroom having DRS right now, but Mealy is of course way closer to Seagull, and with that long straight he's able to make a move down the inside here, goes down and slots in before Seagull, before the chicane is even approaching. Mealy staying ahead nice and cleanly. One lap later, and just a few positions further down, we have Rito and Fabian Gaming battling for that P4. Rito is approaching quickly, gets a decent exit out of the hairpin, and of course will have the DRS here. This straight is very long, it's not that hard to make a pass here, and he goes side by side with Fabian Gaming, slots in just before him, covers the inside here, and he stays ahead through the chicane. In lap 12 we have still the ongoing battle for P1, and yeah, Mealy is still in the lead, but Seagull closely behind, and so is Vroom here, closing up rapidly in this corner, and sticks the wheel down the inside, resulting in him almost getting spun, as we cut to Ypsinio, who loses his car in the chicane, and
we need to retire the car. We need to retire the car. Box.
it is lap 14 and we are back with the front three. Mealy still in the lead and Vroom just behind in third. Seagull here in the sandwich, looking to get that sweet P1 back with the DRS now. A long straight coming up, of course. Can he go past on this one? Not just yet. They go side by side and bang, wheels. And, well, Mealy gets contact by Vroom from behind as well. No front wing damage for any of these drivers though, as Vroom is trying to go down the inside of turn 1 here, and is now on the outside, going the long way around, and getting squeezed there by Mealy to stay in P2 here. And now we have Vroom in the chicane, losing the car here almost into the wall like Ypsinio did before, but he catches it, loses a decent bit of time though, and Rito's right up his back. We jump a little bit further ahead, and the battle for P1 is still going on, and now it seems to slowly but steadily become a four-way fight, as Rito is joining the action as well, with Vroom just a second behind the top two. And Rito is looking for a move here down the inside, and we saw the leaders very close together here as well. Rito now up into P3, but at the front we have Mealy actually running around the outside of that first little turn to have the inside position for the next one. And further down the field, we have Brandenburg getting through Daddy here as well, with a very nice move down the inside here, and then just cutting through before the chicane to gain one position. Back to the top runners though, in lap 17, Seagull, still just behind of Mealy. And he is going to be looking for a move here again, 0.2 behind us. An easy move to pull off. Everyone behind has DRS, so Rito and Vroom will be closing up as well. Far to the inside here for Seagull, costs a lot of time. Mealy is jumping into the pits and Rito is right back at it. Fighting for the lead here this time round as they go, yeah, just cleanly behind each other into that first sector, and 2 spins there. Rito and Vroom at the same time oversteering. I think there was no contact. Rito caught his car. Vroom not so lucky. Let's have another look here as yeah, the Red Bull and the Mercedes both spinning out in that first turn, and ultimately here we have it in slow-mo. Rito catching his car and Vroom ending up in the wall. A few laps later, Rito is still running in P2 here as he's exiting Sector 1 through the chicane here, and we see him clipping a little bit too much of that grass. There we have a spin, and in lap 26 we're approaching the exact same corner combination again, and this time around Rito here with the same mistake, ending him up in the wall and DNFing his Red Bull from P3, a very promising position, and bringing out the safety car. Let's have a look at that again, with this time on board here, getting through the chicane nice and easy, and then here just losing the car, oversteering once more, seems to be a huge problem, into the wall. In lap 28, the next safety car is ending, so it is Mealy Seagull, then the lapped Daddy, and then comes Fabian, Brandenburg and Vroom. Only 6 drivers still in the race right now, and we see the potentially last restart of this race. Mealy and Seagull getting away very well. Then there's a little bit of a gap that he did not quite catch up to the restart. Will leave yeah, everyone by on this straight, and there's a huge gap forming between P2 and P3 already. It's Mealy and Seagull for the lead, and then Fabian Gaming, who has to defend off the mighty quick Brandenburg and Vroom here. And yeah, for now, everyone got away nicely, so we jump into a lap 30, and Fabian is coming under some real pressure here, as Brandenburg makes a move down the inside of this chicane, very ambitious move, squeezes Fabian off track here, and that was maybe not the most fair move, as there was literally no room to go for Fabian, and he lost the position to Vroom as well. Let's have that on the onboard with Fabian here, and yeah, we see that. Not very nice. We head into the final stages of the race, lap 33 here, and we have Mealy, Seagull, Vroom and Brandenburg, another 4-way battle for the lead here. Back at it, as Mealy is currently sitting in the lead, but Seagull is going to take that from him shortly here. This time opts for the outside line, but goes ahead even before the corner entry. And there we have it, Seagull back in the lead. Mealy just behind now, and jump into lap 34. There's more overtakes to come, as Seagull and Mealy head into the hairpin, and everyone is so closely behind there. Vroom is just behind with fresh, soft tires, and is having a decent chance for the race victory here. As Seagull defends his position for now, positions well on the inside, so Mealy can't make a dive through. But Mealy has gotten the DRS still, and now tries to force Seagull the long way in turn 2, but can't quite do so, as he can't slot in ahead And Seagull stays ahead for now. Vroom, though, so looking to get past Brandenburg here, but Brandenburg with the switchback, and there's slight contact. Vroom ends up in the wall and DNFs, as we have Fabian Gaming in P5 now, promoting up into P4 just a bit down, and we will have another look at that battle, as we have Vroom here, better traction on the soft compound. But then he positions more towards the inside than he may have needed to, giving the opportunity for the switchback. And then the contact, I think, is inevitable from the McLaren side. We will have another look at that from the McLaren POV, and here we have it down the inside here, squeezing Vroom a little bit, but leaving enough space to go side by side through the first few turns. And Vroom here is fully ahead, has more room to go, and leaves the door open. And here we see the McLaren not really altering their line. There's just a bit of contact. And that leads us to the last bit of the race. We see Mealy is in the safe waters here, and everyone around has the penalty, but he's sitting there without any of them, and he still wants to finish P1 on track. I don't think it's gonna happen for him here, as the finish line is approaching rather quickly. Seagull will drop down into P2. Mealy in the Alfa Romeo will take that win ahead of the two McLarens, and then we have Fabian Gaming coming home in P4 until Daddy, finally a lap down, will be the 5th and final finisher of this 8th race in Canada. Thank you all for being here, and see you all next time.